It's just gone 8 p.m. and you're watching Thursday's edition of Newsplus. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Wadzanai Sansole and these are your headlines. President Emmerson Mnangagwa today capped 69 graduates at the Gwanda State University as the learning institution positions itself as a key driver in skills training. Details on that story right here on Newsplus. Dogs that killed a 13-year-old girl in Stapleford, Nyabira, had attacked another teenage girl in the same area 2 years ago. Our crew visited the area earlier today and spoke to community members. Another night in custody for Robert Mugabe Jr. following his arrest on allegations of illegal drug possession. We give you that story in our look at Crime Watch. Hello India, hello Sri Lanka. The Zimbabwe senior men's cricket team, the Chevrons, have qualified for the 2026 ICC Men's T20 World Cup. We have that story when we take a look at our sports news. Thank you for tuning in. Before we give you our main story, where President Emmerson Mnangagwa capped 69 graduates at Gwanda University, we take a look at the Stapleford community, which is in shock after a tragic dog attack claimed the life of a 13-year-old girl on Tuesday, echoing the trauma experienced by another victim who was attacked by the same dogs 2 years ago. Now, as families confront their fears and demand accountability, Faith Nyode gives us the picture of what really transpired and how the community is dealing with this loss.
She was just 13 when a pack of dogs pounced on her. 2 years later, she still carries the scars on her body and in her mind. Still visibly shaken, she recounts how these beasts hunted her like prey. She says a stranger intervened just in time before things turned even worse.
Sikanini dzova tasvika dzanda kasketi. Pakunda kasketi tovanda tango utase kutiza. Wanya vand bata gumbo, wanya vand bata ruko. Dzova dzandidonedza, wanya vatutsika apa. Ndovanda irwamba, ndovanda simuka, ndatosvika apa. Ndovanda tobatsira nomwe mukomana ndiyakazodzidzinga dzova dzaenda.
The attack changed her and her family's life forever. Every time she leaves the house, her father braces himself. The fear of another attack.
Ndine nguva yekuti chero ndiri kumba mwana wangu akabuda achiuya kuchikoro ndinotozosununguka mushure mekunge asvika akumba nokuda kwokuti pane kutaura kunongovepuka kwokuti munhu ukamborumwa nembwa unogara uchingove victim yekuramba uchidi imbwa dzichida kungokuruma. Saka pese ndokuti yakatozosvika pakundombondiudzawo kumba kuti baba kana kuti mune time dai muchitombouya muchindichingura.
But now, the mishap happened again, this time around with fatal consequences. In the same area, by the same dogs, and just a few days ago on Tuesday, a young girl who was sitting for her grade 7 examinations was brutally attacked by the same pack of dogs on her way from school.
It was on a Tuesday, while coming back from school, where 13-year-old Caroline met with the vicious dogs that mauled her to death right about this area. Now, Caroline learned at the school that's just down there, which means they would use this path as they were going home, considering that she stayed just across the road. They would use this road in order to avoid the bits and turns that come with going with the main road.
A few meters away lies the yard where these dogs were kept, an unsecured place where danger lurked.
This is the homestead of 50-year-old Gift Jambaya, the owner of the dogs that vicious mauled 13-year-old Caroline to death earlier on this week. Now, the place looks deserted because Gift is currently in police custody.
Neighbors say the outcome was not surprising. They claim they warned the dog's owner, Gift Jambaya, repeatedly about the danger, but he ignored them. They say he claimed the dogs were his family and could not cause harm to anyone.
It's a guy who kutaura naye panyaya yembwa dzake anga asingade kuudzirwa. Aitoti imbwa dzangu ndo shamwari yangu, sometimes ndo pfuma yangu. Chitaona pfuma yako iri kuswera idzingidza vana chikoro, iri kuya kufamba kwedu iri kudzingidza mombe, iri kuya kudisturb vanhu. Why can't you just keep it on fence? He said, inini imbwa dzangu handiudzirwe nadzo, ndito zvanenge ndada nadzo. Imbwa dzangu ndo my sister, my brother. Saka munhu wokuti angari arrogant. Nanhasi I think he's still arrogant.
Out of the 7 dogs kept at the homestead, 5 are still on the loose, a persistent and ongoing threat to the neighborhood.
Mwamwe zuro akatadza kutoenda wakadzoka idziri kumhanyisa. Saka dzimwe dzake dzasara dzaisa dzatobatwa tikutocha kuti vana ava izvezvi totocha kuti dzimwe dzenguva unongogara wakangoteya nzeve kuti ukanzwa kuno kotomhanya bo dzichiri musango.
Dzingani dzakabatwa?
Dzakabatwa ndikudzwa kuti understand 2 dzakabatwa. Asi imbwa idzi dzine 5 dzandogara ndicho tiripo 7 in total. Saka 5 idzi hasa dzabatwa. Ende pane sadzabatwa dzache pane imwe yacho ipapo itori vicious haitoiti.
Caroline's family is now left to confront unbearable grief. The pain of losing her is too deep for words. Her family, her twin brother included, are still to come to terms with her untimely passing. They expect to lay her to rest on Saturday, and right now, mourners are still gathered at the home, awaiting post-mortem results.
Akavata ngobora bora makumbo. Amai wangu izvo situation yavari. Vagaro vanororo neBP saka ni situation yavari zvaizvizvo.
After the attack was reported, Commissioner Paul Nyati confirmed the arrest of the owner, Gift Chambaya, who is now awaiting trial, and investigations into the matter are still ongoing. This tragedy is not an isolated event. Some dog fatalities have been recorded in recent months. The recent attack that comes to mind is the fatal attack of a Harare man by a pit bull in Harare's Bluffville suburb. Between 2022 and mid-2025, Zimbabwe recorded over 95,000 dog bite cases, and yet it still seems enforcement is lacking.
We came and we visited the family in Steppenfort. The family still reeling and grieving the death and loss of a loved one, and a community that is still too shocked to process what happened in here. What they're now waiting for is justice to be served, and for the perpetrator, the owner of the dogs, to be put behind bars. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I'm Faith Nyaude in Steppenfort.
A very tragic incident that the Stappleford community is dealing with. Now, in other news on Newsplus, Harare Mayor Jacob Mafume is questioning the wisdom of installing prepaid electricity meters on tower lights, on traffic lights and street lights. He warns the policy could put residents at risk when lights suddenly go off. Our reporter Talent Gore has more details.
Non-working traffic lights and dark streets have become a familiar sight in Harare. Residents have raised concern over safety and traffic flow. The prepaid electricity system was introduced by ZETDC in June to improve revenue collection. Introducing the system, ZETDC said the system aims to improve service delivery, reduce losses, and ensure local councils pay for the power they use. It also claims that councils were notified of the plan as far back as June 2024 and were sent reminders in May 2025. The debate now is whether this is practical or even safe to have critical public infrastructure running on prepaid meters. Harare Mayor Jacob Mafume says the move could have disastrous consequences for residents.
It has a disastrous effect on the public. It increases crime. It can cause accidents when these things are not juiced up properly in time.
Some residents of Harare agree with the mayor's sentiments, warning that outages at intersections and in communities could endanger lives.
Responsibility ye council kuti malais arambe ari on. Nyaya dzekubhadharana kana vasiri kugona kubhadharana gava indi tine makosi tine mutemo muZimbabwe. Gava sign a contract, then each and every party have to honor their contract and abide by the terms and conditions of the contracts. Nyaya dzekuti paitwe ma-prepaid meters inini hangu ndakamirira vamwe vandinoziva vazhinji azviiti hatizvide.
Zvakufana kuti ngoramba tinawo hatinawo nyange kuti uzotunzira mukutaura amukutaura pamarobhoti aka wozogona pamarobhoti aya vachimbotadza
kwete kuti toita zvema-prepaid meters anotidzorera mumashure because pamwe pacho anenge akunonoka kubhadharwa pononoka maintaina zvinhu zvinozokonzeresa matsaona.
But other residents say prepaid meters could be a solution to issues of accountability and efficiency.
Some prepaid meters, pama robots, pama street lights, pama tower lights, ita kuti kuve efficiency. Because because council yane backlog kuzesa and zesa ichakwanise kusupply council nemagetsi, but vakaita prepaid zvakatangoitawo kudzimba residential areas. Now magetsi azvichanzwa nemunhu ane chikwereti chema-thousands chemagetsi, just because magetsi kukamashandisa akapera you have to juice ndokurecharger.
However, stakeholders have blamed the council of negligence.
Department ravo rakangomirira kuona marobots emukati mutaundi munomo kuitira kuti pasaite congestion, because hazvisi kutombobatsira, because marobots haasi kushanda taundi yese. Tikatendera taundi yese toona majunction akawanda mune marobots, but marobots acho asingashandi. Magetsi anenge ariko, but marobots anenge asina. Hazoti maengineers avo varikutadza basa here kana kuti ivo ndo vada kungoti zvigare zvakadaro.
But the question remains, should essential services like traffic lights and street lights ever go dark simply because the meter has run out? Reporting for ZTN Prime, I am Talent Gore in Harare.
We now take a look at our top story, where President Emmerson Mnangagwa today capped 69 students at the 4th graduation ceremony of Gwanda State University in Matabeleland South. Now, the ceremony marked another milestone in the growth of the young institution, with graduates drawn from the faculties of engineering and the environment, as well as the natural resources management and agriculture. Our Matabeleland correspondent Andile Chuma gives us more in the following report.
Of the 69 capped students, 51 were males while 18 were females, as the young institution is experiencing growth, with new programs having also been introduced. Students are excelling in the fields of animal production and health, horticulture and crop production, with STEM graduates in engineering, environment, natural resources management and agriculture, pivoting to help plug critical skills gaps in the country as well as in the region. The university is uniquely and strategically positioned in Matabeleland South Province, the country's heartbeat for mining and animal production. Vice-Chancellor Professor Zandile Moyo urged graduates to channel their research skills towards national development, emphasizing innovation and industrialization in line with the country's development agenda.
Our comprehensive approach to human capital development emphasizes entrepreneurship, community engagement, and industrialization. By nurturing entrepreneurial skills across all our programs, we encourage students to look beyond conventional career paths and explore innovative ventures and address local challenges, create job opportunities, and drive economic growth.
She said the university was seized with improving infrastructure inherited from Epoch Mine, adding that laboratories had been fully completed, while the construction of the agro-innovation complex now stands at 85%. Gwanda State University is positioning itself as a key driver of skills training in mining, agriculture and engineering, sectors critical for Zimbabwe's economic transformation.
In the construction of the agro-innovation complex, which now stands at 85% completion, Your Excellency and Chancellor, I am exceedingly grateful to the government of Zimbabwe through our parent ministry for the unwavering and steadfast support towards the construction of the aforementioned signature projects.
The president surprised top students with 1,000 United States dollars cash rewards, in addition to their initial prizes for the overall best male and female students under his name. Faith Ramai Mchena, who graduated with a first-class degree and was named overall best student, also received the Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa Award for the most innovative research project. Her study in animal production and health explores alternatives to antibiotics and growth hormones in broiler chickens, tackling antimicrobial resistance through a One Health approach.
Like the misuse of antibiotics, they cause residues in animal, like in chicken products, and those residues, if they are consumed by humans, if they went to the hospital to get treated, those antibiotics they have consumed will be resistant to treatment.
The overall best male student, Pride Mzinja, was recognized for his innovative research in goat breeding. A pioneer of the university's Work for Fees program, Mzinja was once deferred studies due to financial constraints, but resumed under the scheme, which now supports 19 students.
I was the pioneer for the Work for Fees program, so I deferred, and then the school brought me back because of my academic excellence. So I'm actually grateful to Kwanda State University. And then with my project, I was looking into an investigation of anticocidal, antimicrobial, anti-helminthic, phytochemical screening and chemical composition of Kekia queminata in castrated metabolic goats. I'm so much in love with our own indigenous goats and providing a cheaper solution to smallholder farmers.
Chancellor of all state universities, President Emerson Mnangagwa today kept 69 students at the 4th graduation ceremony of the Kwanda State University. The event was held at the Kwanda State University Epoch Mine campus here in Philabusi. Various students graduated and scored awards in various STEM disciplines. This year's edition was running under the theme Skilled Human Capital Development, a catalyst for innovation, industrialization and commercialization. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma at the Kwanda State University campus.
Newsplus will be right back with more local updates for you.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
Welcome back, gospel music lovers, to another season of My Ultimate Gospel 10. Your ultimate destination for soul-stirring melodies and inspirational stories.
Might prepare me for a good day.
And God is faithful because He's holy.
Wow, this is beautiful. Each week, they'll be revealing their top 10 gospel songs. Meet Miss Becky K, the dynamic and passionate new presenter for Season 3.
If you are ready, let's get into My Ultimate Gospel 10.
Premiering soon, only on ZTN Prime. Stay tuned and let the music uplift your soul.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Newsplus this evening. Now, as we continue with our local stories, we take a look at this update here. Harare Provincial Magistrate Lisa Mtendereki has remanded Robert Mugabe Jr. in custody on charges of unlawful possession of dangerous drugs. Now, the state opposed bail, arguing that there is prevalence of drug and substance abuse, which is now an obstacle to national stability and development. Now, Mugabe's lawyer, Mr. Ashley Mugia, submitted that his client is not a flight risk as he is fixed aboard. And Mugia told the court that his client is a proper candidate for bail. The presiding magistrate deferred the matter to tomorrow for bail ruling. Now, it is alleged that on Tuesday at around 8 p.m., police officers from ZRP Avondale were deployed on a traffic blitz along 2nd Street Extension in Harare, where they stopped the accused, who was driving a silver Honda Fit motor vehicle. And a search was carried out in his black sling bag, which was on his chest, leading to a seizure of 2 sachets of dacha, 1 pack of rolling paper, and a white dacha crusher. Now, the accused was then subsequently arrested. Moving on, in Kariba district, expecting mothers at Makande Kanyati Clinic are celebrating a new lease of dignity after receiving much-needed hospital beds and supplies. Now, the donation made by the Nigel Shamu Foundation is set to ease maternal care challenges at the rural health facility.
For weeks, patients were sleeping on the floor at Makande Kanyati Clinic as they awaited delivery. The maternity beds were broken and mattresses too worn to offer comfort. But today, there is relief. The Nigel Tchauna Shamu Foundation handed over 5 complete beds, 8 mattresses, linen, and foodstuff, bringing hope to mothers and easing pressure on nurses. Egg incubators were also donated to support the clinic's nutrition garden. Alongside the handover, the foundation organized a sports festival aimed at fighting drug and substance abuse among youth. Serving more than 11,000 people, Makande Kanyati Clinic handles at least 444 deliveries each year. Nurse in charge Ephraim Nyoni says the donation would directly improve maternal health care. ZANU-PF Shadow Member of Parliament Nigel Shamu says the donation is about giving back to the community that raised him. He also pledged to address the clinic's water shortages after bores dried up. Makande Kanyati Clinic now stands as an example of how partnership between communities, leaders, and government can make a difference in people's lives.
And still on health matters, the health sector has been urged to invest more in research and development of traditional medicines in order to enhance the existing use of these medicines. And speaking soon after her arrival from the Hong Kong International Traditional Chinese Medicine Expo, traditional practitioner Belinda Magida noted investing in traditional medicines could actually help Zimbabwe address the threat of rising disease burden. And in Hong Kong, she was among several traditional medical practitioners across the globe who were exhibiting ancient medicines at an expo held from September 25 to 28. We get more in the following report.
By embracing traditional medicine integrating with modern healthcare practices, Mageda believes Zimbabwe can develop a robust and inclusive healthcare system that benefits all its citizens. Currently, traditional medicine lacks standardized regulations and quality control mechanisms, posing potential risk to patients. Mageda argues all that can be addressed through extensive research and development.
As Zimbabwe nation, we have to upgrade our researches to go deeper in traditional medicine, in this ancient medicine, because ndomune kurapa kwese mu ancient medicine, ndomunobuda mapiritsi, ndomunobuda zvese mu ancient medicine, ine simba zvisingaite. Saka izvozvo zvikavandudzwa munyika yedu, asi ndinoziva kuti zvinogona kuvandudzika nokuti depa pasina mukuru wedu wenyika nemukuru wedu we-traditional medicine ataigona kunge tichitsikira nyika iyoyo.
The traditional practitioner further called on Zimbabwe to draw lessons from China, which is a comprehensive ancient medicine system used to balance the body's vital energy to promote health and treat illnesses. Chinese traditional medical methods such as acupuncture, herbal remedies have seen the Asian nation also attracting tourists.
Hongorega ndimbotanga nekuti inokosheswa asi haina kunyanyokosheswa sezvinhu zvainoitwa kuchina. Like Chinese medicine vanoikoshesa because vanoisa traditional medicine pamberi, ndo iri pamberi, imwe yese yozotera kumashure nokuti chakatanga in the ancient there was medicine. Saka ndo vanoziva kuti ndo backbone reChina. Kuno kuZimbabwe hainyanyo kukosheswa zvakadaro kunyangwe ichizikanwa kuti ine simba, asi mukana wekuti simba iroro rionekwe kunyangwe vachiziva kuti riiswe pamberi harikwanise kuiswa.
Traditional medicine is often the first point of contact for many in marginalized communities where modern healthcare facilities are far-reaching. Perhaps a collaboration between traditional healers and modern healthcare professionals can enhance patient care and improve health outcomes in the face of rising disease burden. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I am Mirira Nsingo.
Newsplus will be right back.
Catch exclusive interviews every weekday for candid, exciting and thought-provoking conversations with your host, Erika Ndoro.
We talk about arts, we can talk about sports, we can even talk about politics, and sometimes we venture into a nice guitaristic play.
The one story where you can't get out of your head. Karo mwana mnimambama mu studio. Wakatarisa munhu so Erica like where you are sitting. Ndozongokona bata face so pasina munhu.
Wakasiya music yako yo Afro chakuti ndo music manje no Zimbabwe.
And I'm sure they're still saying the same thing now.
Yeah, so Shona kana kuti Chindevere kana mumwe mutauri muno muZimbabwe ndiwe iwewe. Ndiwo rupawo rwako. Ndicho chidadiso chako.
Catch me, Erica Ndoro, right here on ZTN Prime every single Monday at 7 p.m. whilst we get exclusive.
Welcome back, gospel music lovers, to another season of My Ultimate Gospel 10. Your ultimate destination for soul-stirring melodies and inspirational stories.
Man, prepare me for a good day.
God is faithful because he's holy.
Like, wow, this is beautiful.
Each week, they'll be revealing their top 10 gospel songs. Meet Miss Becky K, the dynamic and passionate new presenter for Season 3.
If you are ready, let's get into My Ultimate Gospel 10.
Premiering soon, only on ZTN Prime. Stay tuned and let the music uplift your soul.
Welcome back. We're coming to you live from Harare, and now we continue with our local updates. Now, the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, has been commended for its commitment to transforming people's livelihoods by bringing electricity to the hard-to-reach areas across Zimbabwe. And the remarks were made by the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution for Mashonaland East, Itai Ndudzo, while commissioning a Rural Electricity Agency, REA projects in Chikomba district recently. Now, this project has so far connected electricity to 2 business centers and 3 schools in wards 15 and 21. Zuma project in Ward 21 comprises 4 benefiting institutions, which include Chikasha Business Center, Zuma Primary and Secondary School, and Zuma Business Center.
Basa iri vachiribata kana tiri kuno kumarawo kuruwa nebandiko re-Rural Electrification Agency. Tinoda kutenda kuti nhasi tauya tamukira taswera muno muchikomba tikaenda kuward 21 kunzvimbo yekwanzuma tikatangira pachikasha tikabva ipapo tikanoona zvikoro chikasha tikanoona Nzuma Primary tikaona Nzuma Secondary tikaona Nzuma Business Center. Izvi zvinotaridza pachena kuzadzikiswa kwemutauro unogara utaurwa nemutungamiriri wenyika kuti kana tiri muchitima chedevelopment hakuna nzvimbo kana dunhu.
Now, this initiative will enhance the learning experience for students, and it will enable the use of digital resources.
This project is got a scope of 5.5 kilometers of high voltage line, 1.9 kilometers of medium voltage line, 2 by 25 kVA substations, and 1 50 kVA substation. This project was actually started by we started it on the 21st of February 2025 and completed on the 3rd of September, meaning all those people who are around the vicinity of that project are around 2,000. For the TVSC primary school, it's actually benefiting 6 households that is within the school, resident in the school, and we've got 8 teachers there, 128 students. But the catchment area for that school, which is actually being served by the school, is actually 1,000 people. Also on top of that, we are actually so much pleased that the community people have actually been involved in the construction or extending the infrastructure to these institutions that they actually.
It's time now to take a look at our global updates. South Africa, as president of the G20 this year, hosted the G20 Research and Innovation Working Group and ministerial meetings in Pretoria. Now, the meeting brought together science ministers and senior officials from G20 member nations, with South Africa pushing for greater strides in responsible science and innovation that prioritizes the Earth's well-being.
For countries to willingly use their scientific knowledge and infrastructure to develop joint responses to global challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and other health emergencies, armed conflict, and using STI as a tool to foster diplomacy.
Declaration G20 Science.
In other global news, political figures and locals in Uvira shared their reactions to the DRC's High Military Court's ruling sentencing former President Joseph Kabila to death in absentia for war crimes. Now, Kabila boycotted the trial in Kinshasa and has not appointed a lawyer, while his current whereabouts are unknown. Some warned the politicized verdict is damaging for the inclusive dialogue that's needed to resolve the country's long-running crisis.
Dans notre pays, jusqu'à maintenant, la justice semble être politisée. Parce que si vous regardez les processus qui ont été mis en place pour juger Joseph Kabila, vous comprendrez que plusieurs aspects n'ont pas tenu compte de sa notoriété et des faits. En tenant compte aussi de la situation que nous avons aujourd'hui sur le plan sécuritaire, je trouve que ce n'était pas un moment opportun de se lancer dans un procès contre Joseph Kabila.
China remains gravely concerned about the prospects of the Security Council authorized gang suppression force, GSF, for Haiti. Now, the UN Security Council adopted a resolution to transition the Kenyan-led multinational security support mission to the GSF for Haiti. China, Pakistan, and Russia abstained from this vote.
过去30多年，安理会授权向海地3次派遣多国部队，7次部署维和行动，换来的是动荡的持续和危机的循环，是海地人民对联合国的抵触和怨恨，相关教训极其惨痛和深刻。我们不禁要问：如何保证镇压黑帮部队不会重蹈覆辙？仓促部署另一支多国部队，是否对海地人民负责任的做法？
After 3 years of construction, the world's tallest bridge has just been opened in China's Guizhou province, reducing travel time across the deep canyon from 2 hours to a mere 2 minutes. Now, known as the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge, it hangs 625 meters above the Beipan River, making it 9 times the height of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge. It overtakes the bridge which was previously known as the world's tallest bridge at 565 meters high, located upstream on the same river.
我是从江西南昌过来的，特意来看这个花江大桥。我今天来哈，我看到这个大桥，十分感慨，就是说这是我们中国人创造的世界第一。 打破了那个北盘江大桥的记录，它的桥梁的高度和长度，2个世界第一。
Another wave of displacement was seen in Gaza as people fled on vehicles and on foot amid ongoing Israeli airstrikes. Now, the latest wave follows the IDF's announcement of the closure of the Al-Rashid Street, the last remaining passage for residents to move south from northern Gaza. Now, what you're looking at are plumes of smoke rising as military helicopters targeted the area. Residents can be seen fleeing with whatever belongings they could carry.
يعني ايش اليوم تسكر الطريق ولا في ما تمش ولا ميه ولا حاجه ولا اي خدمات في غزه. طلعنا زي ما انت شايف الناس مش ملاقيه مواصلات تطلع مشي على قدام. يعني احنا طالعين هيني رايح على اخر خانونس مشي انا والعيله مش ملاقيين حدا في غزه. مستشفى فيش، علاج فيش، ميه فيش، اكل فيش حاجه تم في غزه. ليش مين تم في غزه؟
Those were the updates that we had for you from the world around us. And coming up in business, Zim moves to regulate contractors with new legislation.
The Phoenix Podcast has always brought you the best of the best.
I missed on that blessing, but I also regained it in some way.
In seasons 1 and 2, we introduced you to the industry's brightest stars, the ones at the top of their game, the creme de la creme. But season 3 promises to be even more exciting. We're bringing you even more fascinating guests, including the renowned farmer, Patrick Matadi. And to top it all off, our very own host, Ken Sharp, will be stepping out of the interviewer's chair and into the hot seat as he gets interviewed by a surprise guest host.
From the boss, we've been beaten, but we're not beaten yet. We can still rise.
Konapo Ipapo Bazetian Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what's happening on the economic landscape. Zimbabwe is currently working on a new construction contractors bill that's aimed at regulating the industry through the establishment of a unified regulatory authority. This initiative seeks to ensure elevated standards and delineate procedures for contractor registration, for licensing and ethical practices. And the objective of the bill is to professionalize the construction sector, eliminate unqualified contractors and also standardize operations. We give you more in the following report.
The Construction Industry Federation of Zimbabwe had links with master builders in South Africa, was created to promote interests of whites, segregating the indigenous people. Towards the end of 1980, and in a bid to foster inclusion of black majority, the construction bill was birthed. Since then, discussions have been ongoing about the contractors bill. And just 3 years ago, through the Ministry of Housing, the bill went through cabinet, principles were developed, but after realizing that certain areas had been overlooked, it needed wider consultations with industry players. Local Government and Public Works Minister Daniel Garwe emphasized on the need to have a regulatory framework that promotes the indigenous people.
But it is my wish as Minister responsible for local government and public works, as a contractor for over 25 years, as an employee in the built environment for 30 years, that we need a regulatory framework that looks at our interests, a framework that also governs the way we behave.
Minister Garwa also shared on densification aimed at promoting sustainable urban development, economic growth, and efficient land use through cluster homes and high-rise flats.
Why should we worry when I have 4.5 acres that are lying back? Why can't we come up with a policy or a law that ensures cluster development or densification? In this present approach that so we killed 2 birds with 1 stone. The first bird that we killed was to reduce the housing backlog from 2 million to 500,000.
In the face of technological developments in the construction sector, there is a need to have foreign investors with advanced technology. Minister Garwe highlighted the need for a deliberate policy that mandates foreign investors to subcontract local players in a bid to foster skills transfer, a move welcomed by engineers.
And also for ways Zimbabweans themselves can advantage technological advance. They have an opportunity, or the bill mandates the foreigners, the foreign entities that come here, to make sure they join hands with the Zimbabwean organizations, to make sure there is skills transfer, and so that we can close the knowledge gap for the future of Zimbabwe.
As Zimbabwe edges closer to finalizing the contractors' bill, stakeholders remain hopeful that the legislation will usher in a new era of professionalism, inclusivity, and sustainable development in the sector. Tavares Buchiwe for ZTN Prime.
Stakeholders in Zimbabwe's clothing and textile sector are urging collaborative approaches to boost the industry's competitiveness as discussions continue over a proposal for an import and export licensing regime for fabrics and apparel. Now, the Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers says it supports efforts to revive local production, but notes that any new measures should safeguard supply chains and avoid raising costs for consumers. Dialogue with authorities is still underway, with stakeholders expressing confidence that a balanced solution can be reached to strengthen the entire cotton to clothing value chain.
We have been working day and night with the Office of the President and Cabinet to streamline some of these regulations, particularly in our sector, the retail sector. And we believe that imposing additional licenses will not be beneficial to this initiative that is being carried out by all government ministries and all players within the economy. So our approach at this moment is to encourage collaboration. We believe that there are many avenues that we can support our local industries without restricting flows of trade.
Revenue for transport and logistics company Unifreight Africa's group reached 546 million ZiG for the 6 months to June 30, 2025, from 165 million ZiG in the comparative period last year. Profit for the period stood at 202 million ZiG, and Unifreight is set to expand its cross-border fleet from the fourth quarter of 2025 through the first quarter of 2026 in preparation for the upcoming tobacco season, which is expected to generate significant demand for freight capacity. Now, ZTN's business correspondent Eben Mabunda joins us to give us a sense of what these Unifreight numbers mean. Eben?
Good evening. A fair set of results coming from Unifreight, a threefold growth in terms of their top line to over 540 million ZiG against, of course, the 2024 comparative period. At the same time, there is a twofold growth in terms of their bottom line, which is their profit after tax, and some solid numbers that are coming out of Unifreight, indications of what appears to have been a growth in terms of their volumes and a good cost containment under the circumstances, resulting in the threefold top line growth vis-a-vis the twofold growth in terms of their bottom line, and indications of sustained growth going into the future.
Thank you, Eben. Have a good evening. Now, in other business news, marking a bold departure from past policy, the Mines and Minerals Bill Act will enforce the need for miners to demonstrate ongoing development activities and environmental compliance, substantiated through official inspection certificates and social responsibility reporting. Now, the bill establishes civil penalties as a central enforcement tool, enabling provincial mining directors to impose monetary fines without resorting to criminal prosecution. This is intended to streamline enforcement, to reduce pressure on the courts, and also foster greater compliance within the sector. Now, persistent non-compliance with a civil penalty may escalate to criminal liability, providing both regulatory flexibility and a clear deterrent against repeated violations.
I think the bill tries to address that by introducing the use it, lose it policy, where it is addressing the issues that my learned colleague raises, where people are holding on to large tracts of land and they are not being productive. So I think that deals with that issue. But I definitely agree with my other colleagues that you definitely need long tenure. If you are going to invest a lot, because if you take a look at the processes that you need, just from starting the processes up until maybe the EIA, there is so much investment that you need. So you can't have less tenure, because you are definitely not going to be secure in terms of the investment that you put in.
Now, players in the sector feel that there is need to relook into the system.
So now we're saying that people who are holding on to EPOs since they were last granted in, say, 2019. But in all fairness, when their tenure ended, they had to demobilize. But on paper, that land is their EPO, but they cannot continue to invest in it because even they don't know whether that is their EPO. So what is the problem? The inertia is in the system. The system is flawed. The system is sick. But we're now pointing fingers at each other to say, you're holding on to land. No, I'm not. I can't work with it because I don't know whether it still belongs to me. Maybe tomorrow somebody will come back and say, well, we've cancelled all the EPOs. And then you've been working on them since 2022 until now, and it's all gone. So if a system works, then you will not have any problem. Nobody wants to hold on to, because land is expensive to hold on to, by the way. You're not earning, because you're not mining from it. You are analyzing, you're doing soil sampling, you're doing all that. You're trying to get results.
Now, the European Central Bank, ECB, has selected a Portuguese artificial intelligence startup to help combat fraud in its upcoming digital euro project. The contract, valued at up to 278 million United States dollars, is one of the several awarded by the ECB on Thursday as it moves forward with a digital euro initiative seen as crucial to strengthening the Eurozone's financial independence from the United States. Now, another business story. In the first half of the year, Beijing appeared on track to meet its 2025 growth target of 5%, with GDP expanding by 5.4% in the first quarter and 5.2% in the second. However, economic momentum seems to have slowed in recent months. This was underscored by China's August activity report, which pointed to a deceleration in both retail sales and industrial output. And despite the cooling pace, there are bright spots in the economy, particularly in sectors benefiting from new and ongoing government policy support. Those were your business updates, but stay tuned to Newsplus for entertainment and sports still to come.
Where music transcends boundaries, where rhythm and melody unite the hearts of people, comes a show that celebrates the power of music like never before. Get ready to dive into a sonic journey that will leave you mesmerized and yearning for more. Welcome to the captivating world of Z Vibes. Vibe to it, baby.
Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of entertainment. For years now, Harare International Festival for the Arts set the gold standard for Zimbabwe's cultural calendar, renowned for its discipline, its punctuality, and spectacle. With its absence, many wondered if the void could ever be filled. Now, all eyes are on the Jacaranda Music Festival, which has steadily grown into a polished, professional, and world-class event. Founder Walter Wanyanya said that the festival is not about competition, but about legacy, and the festival has become known for its curation and intentionality. Wanyanya also said the festival has transformed into one of Zimbabwe's cultural flagships. In another entertainment story, the Zimbabwean film industry is quietly but firmly stepping onto the global stage. The latest jewel in the crown is Rise, a Zimbabwean short film that scooped 3 awards at the Lady Filmmakers Festival in Beverly Hills, California. That's a milestone that underscores how Zimbabwean stories are resonating far beyond our borders. Now written and directed by Jessica Rowlands and produced by veteran filmmaker John Jagu alongside Hollywood-based star Tongai Chirisa, this movie walked away with awards for Best Short Film, Best Actor for Tongai Chirisa, and Best Up-and-Coming Young Actor for Skhanyiso Ngwenya. This recognition in Los Angeles was more than a victory, as it was a statement. Now, Somandla Mafia Ndebele's camp has praised Alec Macheso's management for offering him moral support at a time when he needed it the most, he says. Now, the two have been holding joint shows and their partnership is reportedly paying off, as evidenced by the current performances. And in an interview with Zim Paper's Arts and Entertainment Hub on the sidelines of their recent show in Mbare, Ndebele spoke highly of Macheso's management for forging an alliance with him. And he also believes he has the ability to delight fans in big cities with Macheso's assistance. We now give you our sports news.
They call me Racer X, or in this case, Racer J. All right.
Put your seatbelt on.
Welcome wherever you are. And Marmouche, room to shoot. He well and truly did. It's an opportunity. What a shot to Sino! Tarkowski! Scott's got to be careful. Bukayo Saka! But it's Salah, and that one delivers!
Never miss a play, home or away. Stream all Premier League games live on Showmax.
Zimbabwe has qualified for the 2026 ICC Men's T20 World Cup that's to be hosted by India and Sri Lanka. The Chevrons beat Kenya by 7 wickets in the semi-finals of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Africa qualifier at Harare Sports Club today to secure one of the 2 qualifying slots. Now, batting first, Kenya were restricted to 122 for 6 in 20 overs. Blessing Mzarabani was the pick of the bowlers with figures of 2 for 19. And Richard Ngarava's solitary wicket against the East Africans took his career tally to 100 T20 international wickets, the first Zimbabweans to reach the milestone. And in reply, the Chevrons cruised to 123 for 3 in 15 overs to secure victory with 30 balls to spare. Brian Bennett led the way with a 51-run half-century, while fellow opener Tadiwa Nashe Marumani contributed with 39. The Chevrons will play Namibia in Saturday's final at Harare's Sports Club. Still on sports, Ngezi Platinum Stars coach Tekshua Chiragwi says that his team is planning for the future by blooding new talent and throwing them in the deep end. The 2023 PSL Championship winning coach has introduced a number of new players this season to prepare for a transition with some of the seasoned players, as well as offer competition. Madamburo are currently 5th on the log and 10 points behind the current log leaders and carry a mathematical change in the title race. And despite those permutations, the bigger picture remains the future for the side.
We were supposed just to let the ball and then would have won the game at the last second, but a point gained for us, I think it's fair. Our aim is to try and collect as many points as we can, because we would have really wanted to finish in the top 4. but we're going to take one game as it comes, and we're going to fight and try and collect many points, and then we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm very happy because we signed him in July, and this is his first game. He hadn't come in even as a game changer, but we threw him today in the deep end, and I'm very happy because he was solid and even managed to take away Obrio Chirinda's what I thought was a clear goal. So I'm very happy with him.
We need to go and prepare for the next game that we're going to play in Harare. Like I said, it depends. It's also other clubs because they are also doing well, and they don't want to draw points. But you will see what will happen. There's still 5 games to play, and it's almost 15 points. We will see how it's going to end, and also need to be consistent in terms of getting good results, which is winning games. If you want to keep on pushing for the title, though it's mathematically, but we just need to keep on fighting. We don't know what will happen at the end of the day. What we are trying to do is to build a very competitive team. And you see, we have a lot of youngsters, like I've always said, and this is the right time for them now to bring them in, to make sure they can also get involved more often than not. You see, we've got the Kadamins, Polite Moyo, Farai Madananga, they are now at their peak. So we need correct replacements, and this is the time for these guys to come in and play. And you see, like I said, you see, now they are playing and they are competing. We are getting results while they're playing, which is good.
We apologize for that mix-up. We also had Herento's coach, Paul Benza, speaking ahead of their match. Now, up next, Ngezi Platinum Stars are away to Dynamis at Rufaro on Saturday. But before that PSL matchday action gets underway, tomorrow with log leaders Scotland away to Chicken Inn at Barberfields in Bulawayo. In other sports updates, Warriors head coach Michael Nees has backed UK-based midfielder Andy Rinomota to find a new club before the start of the AFCON finals in December. Rinomota has been unattached since his contract with English Championship side Cardiff ran out at the end of last season. And as a result, the midfielder, who had been a mainstay of the Warriors since Nees took charge, missed the World Cup qualifiers against Benin and Rwanda. He has also been excluded for the Warriors squad to face Bafana Bafana and Lesotho during the upcoming FIFA international break.
I can go then straight to the third question. I'm in constant contact with Andy Rinomota, which I, how can I say, appreciate a lot as a player, as a person. He started basically all the qualification games until end of March with me, played almost all games 90 minutes, so there's no doubt that there's no question that I doubt him. The situation is a bit strange because he had an outstanding season with the national team and with his club. And it's also for me a bit surprised that he doesn't have a club right now. No? If a player doesn't have a club, it's very, very difficult, not only from match fitness to call him, but just imagine he gets injured. What does it mean? He won't find a club for the next 3, 4, 5 months. He's out of the AFCON. Because who would contract an injured player? Last time I thought he finalized everything, it didn't work out. I try to help, from my point of view, as good as possible. I'm very confident that he will sign very soon with the club, even if it's not what he maybe had in his mind. Andy Rinomota must just get back into a club, get match fit, and get into shape, and then he's a very good candidate to be in the AFCON squad.
Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Bruce has named a strong 23-man squad for their final 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers that will be against Zimbabwe and Rwanda. Bafana Bafana will next face the Warriors at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban on 10 October 2025, followed by a clash against Rwanda at the Mbombela Stadium on 14 October 2025. And that's a wrap on Newsplus this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Wadzanai Sansole. See you again tomorrow. Have a good night.